Our marriage unraveled, the beginning marked by a love I thought would last forever. 10 years ago, in the quiet glow of a college library, I met her, my wife, my first and only love. We were two shy souls, giggling over late-night study sessions, our dreams whispered between stacks of books. 8 years of marriage wove a life of small joys, cooking pasta on lazy Sundays, planning a future with a cozy home, maybe kids someday. I believed our bond was special, a fortress against the world's chaos. But maybe I was dreaming alone. When she landed a job at a sleek corporate firm, her reserved nature made fitting in tough. I'd nudge her to make friends, picturing her laughing over coffee, not chasing neon-lit nights. She found a group of women, single, divorced, wild at heart, who pulled her into a whirlwind of late-night drinks and pulsing dance floors. At first, I was thrilled, seeing her eyes light up with new confidence. She'd come home buzzing with stories, her laughter a melody I hadn't heard in years. But soon, that laughter arrived after midnight, her perfume laced with gin and stranger's cologne. Our evenings, once warm with shared plans, turned into my solitary vigils, staring at the TV's flicker. In the bedroom, her warmth faded, she'd slip under the covers, too tired or distant, leaving me to wrestle with doubts in the dark. I'd lie awake, her soft breathing a reminder of what we were losing. Was this just a phase, or was she slipping away? I tried to talk, my voice gentle to avoid caging her newfound freedom, but her eyes would dart away, offering vague smiles instead of answers. I'd ask about her day, hoping to bridge the gap, but her replies were clipped, her mind elsewhere. Her new friends filled her world with excitement I couldn't match, and I felt like a ghost in our own home. Once, she forgot our anniversary dinner, texting me at 2 a.m. from a bar, "Sorry, lost track of time." My heart sank, but I swallowed the hurt, telling myself she was just finding herself. Yet, each late night chipped away at our foundation, and I wondered if the love I cherished was mine alone. I tried to be the supportive husband, cheering her on, but the silence between us grew louder. Our once sacred rituals, movie nights, morning coffee chats, faded into memories. I'd catch her staring out the window, lost in thought, and wonder what she was chasing. The first cracks appeared, not loud or dramatic, but quiet, like a hairline fracture in glass, spreading slowly. A marriage unraveled, the beginning of a story I never thought I'd tell. Her new friends changed her, like a quiet stream turning into a rushing river. She'd come home with stories of bar hopping, her voice alive with a spark I didn't recognize. "You should have seen the club last night," she'd say, eyes glittering, while I forced a smile, my chest tight. Our evenings, once spent curled up with a movie, became my lonely waits, the clock ticking past midnight. In the bedroom, her touch grew rare, she'd murmur, "Too tired," or "Not tonight," leaving me staring at the ceiling, feeling like a stranger in our bed. I tried to talk, my words careful, not wanting to dim her new light. "Are you okay?" I'd ask, but her answers were vague, her eyes on her phone. Her friend's influence grew louder, tales of wild nights, flirty strangers. I felt like I was losing her to a world I couldn't enter, but I kept quiet, hoping it was just a phase. Then came Mark, her new manager, his name slipping into her stories like an uninvited guest. At first, it was harmless, how he fixed a project, his clever quips. But soon, she'd linger on his personal advice, like how he handled stress or charmed clients. Her eyes lit up, and my stomach twisted. "Is he more than a boss?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. She laughed it off, but her questions cut deeper. "Don't you ever wish you dated others?" I said no, she was my everything. Her face softened, maybe with guilt, before she changed the topic. His presence grew, a shadow over our home. She'd mentioned his name casually, but it felt too intimate. I wondered if I was paranoid or if she was drifting toward him, pulled by a world I couldn't follow. One evening, over a half-eaten dinner, she dropped a bomb. "What if we opened our marriage?" she asked, her voice a mix of nerves and defiance. I froze, my fork midair. This wasn't her, the woman who once blushed at my touch. She said it would spice things up, that she felt she'd missed out on youth's adventures but didn't want to lose me. "Is this about Mark?" I pressed, my heart pounding. She swore it wasn't, just her curiosity about life. I wanted to scream no, but love made me foolish. I agreed, thinking it might save us, though dread coiled in my chest. Her eyes sparkled, not for me, but for a freedom I couldn't give. I felt like I'd signed away our love, stepping into a storm I couldn't stop. For a year, she dove into her freedom, dates, flings, and, as I feared, a connection with Mark. I tried dating, but every encounter felt like betraying my heart. I'd tell her I was fine, but her unchanged path carved a hollow ache in me. My love for her faded, replaced by quiet grief. Then I met Jiyeon, a South Korean woman whose gentle smile broke through my walls. Our coffee dates turned into late-night talks, then intimacy that felt like rediscovering myself. She made me feel seen, desired, alive. My wife noticed, calling it cute at first, but as Jiyeon and I grew closer, her smiles turned to frowns. I reminded her this was her idea, throwing her affair with Mark in her face. Her silence was heavy, her eyes brimming with unspoken regret. Suddenly, she was everywhere, cooking lavish dinners, scrubbing the house spotless, bringing lunch to my office with forced cheer. She tried to rekindle our spark, her hands reaching for me in the dark, but her touch felt like a stranger's. My heart had gone cold. "Why now?" I asked, voice sharp. She swore it was to prove her love. I laughed, bitter, asking about her friends, Mark, her flings. She crumpled, tears streaming, and fled to bed. The next day, she begged to close the marriage, calling it a terrible mistake. Her friends had planted the idea, and Mark's charm fueled an emotional affair that turned physical once we opened things. She said it was a thrilling rush but empty, that our love was irreplaceable. I told her I might never see her as my wife again, and her sobs echoed the death of our dreams. She quit her job, cut off her friends and Mark. I kept seeing Jiyeon, who'd become my anchor when I was drowning. In therapy, she spilled everything, her friends made her question our monogamy, and Mark's flattery blinded her. She saw their toxicity too late. A second session dropped a bombshell. Before our agreement, they'd shared intimate, non-physical moments, mutual displays she thought weren't cheating. I was floored, even the therapist looked shocked. She broke down, hyperventilating, snot running as she begged forgiveness. Her guilt was raw, but my trust was shattered. She swore she'd chased a fantasy, only to see our love's worth. I sat, numb, Jiyeon's warmth lingering in my mind. Therapy laid bare her mistakes, but could it rebuild what was broken? I wasn't sure. One evening, she overheard Mark's truth, passing his office. He bragged to a colleague about how easy she was, calling her a pleasant distraction with no care for his fiancée or me. Her world crashed, she vomited in the parking lot, hating herself for betraying me for a cheap thrill. She begged to start over, even suggesting we move away, just us. I said it wouldn't be fair to Jiyeon, and I needed space. Her sobs grew frantic, clinging to me like I'd vanish. She swore she never stopped loving me, which hurt worse. How could love lead to this? Her desperation was a knife, twisting in our wounds. I held her as she cried, but my heart was elsewhere, torn between our past and Jiyeon's promise of a new beginning. A video call from her friend echoed her mistakes, a fling with Mark, a pregnancy scare, a ruined relationship. My wife's choices weren't unique, just a pattern of chasing thrills. I moved to an apartment, met a divorce lawyer at my brother's urging, and kept seeing Jiyeon, who makes me feel whole. My wife tried to rekindle intimacy, but I refused. She screamed, "What does she do that I can't?" I shook my head, saying if she couldn't see the damage, our marriage was done. I'm in therapy, torn between Jiyeon's light and a love that might be unsalvageable. Some choices break what can't be fixed. Good luck, Rain, wherever you fall.